families would think that, okay, if it happens in our own culture, we know how to deal with it. But if you marry somebody who is from far,
then you need to go to somewhere else to settle issues.
It's a lack of exposure, though.
Yeah, mediation can take several forms, but I want to come back to the word you use, object. Nobody has any right to object to another individual's seeking of happiness. So whether it's your family or whatever, they are trampling on your basic human rights. If they object to what is going to bring you happiness and help propel the human race, what they can do as family and as people of a community is, if they have any evidence to advise you about what you are going into,
that's right.
They can do that.
That's right.
And it's for you to take it or to say no.
Yeah.
When I was getting married, I didn't get any so-called objection, even though I come from a fairly Orthodox Sunni Muslim background. It was only my late mother who said something very interesting. She said it in Hausa to me. She said, "To auren zobianga, najin kaya auren zobi baka ya kai aure kuma." I'll translate. She says, she hears I'm going to do the ring wedding, but once you do the ring wedding, she hears you can't marry again. And it's like I've said, it's institutional. I just laughed and I said, "Oh no, it's just that the law requires it." And as it went beautifully. We did the local thing, sent the schnapps to the head, accounts did theirs, and then did ours too, did the sadaki, small ceremony, and another little ceremony at the Register Generals, and we signed.
And that was it.
And that was it. No highfalutin tents and big parties and making any noise. But the thing is, the two people starting their lives, understanding themselves, and getting ready to face the challenges of life. So nobody can say they are objecting. They don't have that right.
Most of the time, the challenges are not from the inner party. It's always from the external parties, the friends and the families.
But when you're getting married, you need your family to be behind you. In fact, they will go and do the knocking and everything.
You must convince them that the person is.
We say that they marry for you,
not necessarily your family. Witnesses are the people you need in marriage, because you may disagree with your family and they will wash their hands off. But the law demands a witness, so you could go with anybody, your friend, someone who understands.
But
that is when you are going to the law. But if you are going to the family, you need your family anyway. You will need your family at all costs. You need approval and their blessing. And when they give you stiff opposition, you would have to take a stance. You know, there are people who have remained adamant to their decisions and they've gone ahead to marry. Some have worked out, others not. But as Africans, we don't want to run away from the fact that the extended family has a say when it comes to our choice of a life partner.
So on that note, what I would want to ask, and we're going to listen to what others have to say on this particular issue, but what I want to ask is, if you close your ears to external influences and you get in and you start experiencing, you have issues, who do you turn to? Can we come to the issue of if you close your ears? Because obviously we've had, I think people have very open minds. But can I ask you, is it different, the Muslim woman, is it different for her? Can she make the same decision like you did?
Well, that's a difficult thing. It depends on the individual. Like I was saying, I did break with certain norms. Not many people would find it very easy, but I know of some Muslim girls who've actually gone out of their way to marry Christian men, and they've had fairly successful relationships, even though their relations would find it very difficult to accept. But after a time, especially when children have come into the union and the children have started growing and there's stability, everybody accepts the status quo.
Okay, so if my mother, my father says no and I still insist and I go in for it, Auntie Rita.
Yes.
If the issues start coming up, which definitely, I mean, there's no relationship without problems or issues. Who do I turn to?
Who do you turn to? I think those who have married from the same tribes, even when they have issues, do not always go back to the extended family. always is the word. They do not always go back. Some seek counseling from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter who you tend to in a crisis.
But there are times that like a man or woman would say, had I known, I should have listened to my parents. If I'd married somebody that they had recommended,
Even in intra-tribal marriages, within the same tribes, we hear people saying the same things. That is why we want to say the thing really borders on love. It is an issue of love rather than tribal. And it isn't tribal.
I would even add compassion and tolerance, because at the end of the day, that decides the relationship. Love can be a little too romanticized and maybe even sentimental. But if you have the compassion to understand each other, you have the tolerance to accept each other's differences, then you are building a relationship. But if